I think pride is killing us. I really do. Like, you know how they warn you, like, oh, pride comes before the fall, or the Bible warns you, like, God hates haughty people, which I had to look up, like, what is haughty? And it's more like, like snobs, like, I'm better than the next human being, like that type of behavior. I really think it's killing us in a lot of ways. Like, just to speak, like, relationship wise, like, how many times will a person not apologize because of pride? Like, well, they gotta apologize to me first. Are you that weak in your own mind that if you go apologize when it dawns on you that you should probably apologize, you just, like, you're too, like, fragile and simpy and wimpy, like, you just can't, oh, I would just wither away if I have to go first. I have to know they're sorry for what? If you realize, like, you were wrong, why can't you just be like, my bad, I was wrong? Like, I'm solid enough as a person that my whole identity and livelihood is not fringed upon actually apologizing to someone, not buying them a meal, not trying to cop out of it. Like, that's so disgusting to me. Like, I would almost rather not get an apology from someone who generally, like, doesn't give a foot than someone who, like, how you say, like, they're gonna do everything but actually apologize. They will do every passively helpful thing they can do to dance around just apologizing. And it's not setting nobody up for success. I just think it's making a bunch of psychopaths. Like, and if it doesn't do that, it's like the mindset behind that is concerning. So, like, I can think of, like, multiple instances. So, like, you have parent to child. When I do stuff that I really think is wrong, depending on if I think my children can comprehend it, like, because sometimes I don't think they get what I'm trying to tell them. I go to God and I repent and I'll be like, God, can you help me? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a lot to work with. I only got, like, one family member to my name. I only got, like, one friend to my name. I don't have, like, I'm doing the best that I can. God, I need some help. Like, but on the flip, like, but to even go to God, to even comprehend that you have a problem or that you don't know how to go about something requires some amount of not being prideful. And then there are other times where if I make a mistake, I don't remember, I said something to my son. I think I got upset thinking that he put something somewhere. I think. Like, and I was wrong. I was wrong. It turns out, I think he was right or something like that. It happened a while ago. The only thing I remember was thinking, like, crap. And then I go to my son and I'm like, I apologize. I said that, da 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 da. I don't remember what it was all the way. But, I thought I just shouldn't have done that, because you should lead by example. And also, when I'm elderly and crippled, I need that same energy I gave to come back. I need those same healthy characteristics to come back. I'm not expecting you to be perfect, but what I am expecting you to do is modify your behavior accordingly. So you might get upset with me in my old age, but I'm gonna need you to circle back around and be like, golly, like, that shouldn't be comfortable in my essence. Like, I don't want to be comfortable with that flaw be, like, burden. That should be a burden on you. It shouldn't be a burden to apologize. It should be a burden to just be comfortable, like, not wanting to, like, just being haughty and proud. Like, that should be what bothers you. Like, you should be seeking this person out. Like, I can't have this on my soul and burden. Where are you at so I can apologize? Whether you believe in God or not. Like, it just, as a person with integrity, like, I know me. I'm so solid. I'm so good. I don't need none of this extra flaw in my system. Like, I'm gonna be clean within myself for myself, right? And I mean, even my daughter, 7 years younger than my son, so a good chunk. Something might happen, and I'll be like, "I'm sorry." And you know what my son told me? You know what my son told me? My son told me, "I forgive you." We still have our issues with me trying to get him to understand, like, social and emotional cues. Like, that was apparently never put in his IEP, so we're on the back burner for a lot of stuff. But He said, I forgive you. So he can learn to cleanse his soul off of that, you know, and just as well, it helps me as well, like, because it's nice. It's nice to be told that, quite frankly. And then my daughter, she mirrors the behavior. She may not grasp it all the way, but she'll just randomly do something, and it can be hours later or a day later, and she'll just turn to me like, Mommy, I'm sorry I put all that sand, because she likes kinetic sand, um, all on the carpet. I shouldn't have done that. And you know what I say? I say it's okay. Well, we got it clean, but next time you need to stay at the table with that sand. You know, like, so it's just so important. It's like I don't understand. Or you're in a workplace. Oh my gosh, like you're in a workplace and you snap at somebody. I remember I was supervising something, and I would go back to people like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I shouldn't have forgotten." Like, hey, can I talk to you? Or even just as a employee, because this person's human too. Like, something would happen. We weren't really getting paid right because of something. They didn't switch something over into the system. So instead of just sitting here clicking like hens, like, no, I'll just be like, hey, excuse me, because I did everything on my end, but the company didn't do what they did on their end. Is there some way you can fix that? And have found that, you know, that gets the situation fixed, right? Like, and they went ahead, took care of it. They started paying me like they used some kind of loophole in the system to try to pay me until the system fixed itself. Like, you know, versus I've seen other stuff where people are, because you know they weren't being prideful. I've seen other people respond pridefully, and it's like, it's not my problem. You need to do like very like, or they'll try to like gaslight you into being like, because you didn't notice the problem, or because you saw the problem, you the problem. I don't know. It's given fifth grade, you smelt it, you dealt it behavior, instead of an adult um responsible for other people, adults in their lives and what's attached to their lives, which is most likely another human life, whether a child or um a relative, a neighbor, a cousin, just other kids, just grandparents. Okay, I don't know. Like, you get my point. Like, most human beings are responsible for another human being if they're in a state of employment, or they eventually will be, whether due to elderly care or child care. And so, anyway, then you think of like relationships. Like, how do you really believe you love someone if you're too busy trying to manipulate them by being too proud to be soft and affectionate and be like beneath them? And like, matter of fact, why is it apologizing makes someone think they're beneath someone? Like, I get that people may bow in apologies or put their head down in apologies to help emanate the remorse and the sadness, but how does that not make you, like, by being humble and being strong in who you are, how is it that I'm gonna let the sun go down on my anger? I would almost say that goes into pride, because they say pride comes before a fall. So I can absolutely see why it would be phrased as don't let the sun go down on your anger and your husband and wife, because now you're doing a pissing contest. It's a pride contest, you know? Now you're doing all this extra, because habits go together. So now it's it's just a dangerous thing to put in your life, because you're just like, what is the goal? What are we racing towards? Why is it I should be so arrogant? Because we all know that comes next, right? You're proud, and then, but you know you're wrong. So you have to be arrogant to overcompensate for the errors that you know you made, and you know most likely other people know you made too. So now you have to overcompensate. And then sometimes you start making fun of other people and trying to overexpose their issues, right? Or even lie or whatever, gossip about other people so folks won't focus on you. You see how this all starts to go together, just because like you're too prideful to be like, ooh, like, I don't understand. You know you're not God, right? And there are certain things you're gonna do that are just gonna be human. And when I was growing up, they said a lot of to err is human. You know, like, you're gonna make errors. So I don't understand this whole like Like, I don't understand all this pride stuff and all these people expecting other human beings to be God. Like, if you worship the real God, you wouldn't be looking for God in people. I'll just say that. Like, there's no way you can understand the magnitude of Jesus or God or whoever your God is. Like, some people separate the two. Some people believe it's all one. I'm not here to get into how you view your religion or your religious sect, right? That's not my nah. I'm good on that. Um, but I just can't. The way people are looking for God in people and God-like consistency behavior in a human being that pisses and shits too, I can't get behind that. Like, I can't get behind that. And I'm gonna tell you, what really lit a fire to it is this whole thing where if you apologize, just out of being human beings, right? Just, oh, I apologize, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, you okay? And now you're assuming guilt. Like, now you can be sued. Like, maybe I was just raised right. Like, it's not assuming guilt. It's just, like, decent, I don't know, characteristic. Like, oh my gosh, just to let the other person know that they're not with a treacherous snake, and you're letting them know that they're safe based off that response, not some manipulative creature. I heard someone say manipulation is like witchcraft or whatever, because the idea of witchcraft is that you're trying to control someone else's free will, which it gets tricky there because a lot of us have say so over how other people live, whether it's through shame, what benefits the masses. So like, I can see the argument made in different ways. However, what I will say is, like, you are taking away someone's choice. And I think being prideful does lead to manipulation, because a lot of prideful people, what makes them prideful is that they cannot be corrected. And that's dangerous in and of itself. Someone above correction, knowing they're going to make mistakes, tells me you're a liability and you're dangerous. Something will happen and it will get significantly worse before it gets better, until everyone can either catch on, provide evidence, or make a list, check it twice. Like, it's not worth all that. So yeah, I don't understand it. I don't see how it does anything for you. And I think also a lot of parents have done a huge disservice by being like, I'm the adult, therefore I'm always right. No. I tell my kids they're not at all, not over here. I said, we can try to look it up together. We can try to read together. There's far too much in this universe to know, to learn, to see, to discover. It's so much we haven't seen, gotten a hold of. And then there's so much stuff that we've destroyed through our recklessness and our greed and selfishness, or just accidental mistakes. And if you pretend something didn't happen, doesn't that just mean you're more likely to repeat it? If you're too prideful to be like, yeah, I did wrong, that wasn't right, and then you try to shove all that history like under a rug, you don't really learn anything. There aren't any consequences, whether those consequences are favorable or unfavorable. You've blocked the learning cycle of yourself or your society by simply being like, we're just not going to talk about that, or the details that go into it. I remember being very, very young, and my grandma was like, way, way back in the day, she was like, they wouldn't really tell people about how children were born. And then she said they switched over to telling people the truth, and people were still, doing like the do and having like all the consequences thereof. And then I remember myself getting older, and a lot of stuff was not really explained about health and all this other stuff. And it's just like people just keep repeating it because they don't understand what they stand to lose or sacrifice. Like, they don't understand the true weight and value of another life and what has to really go into it in order to keep it alive. Like, the sheer weight, some of it you can't understand until you have to live it yourself. And that's not really what's being like given as information. And I think a lot of times information is not given. Why? Because of pride. I don't want to admit how much I've sacrificed. I don't want to have to admit that maybe it was a poor decision and I should have waited until later. And I don't want to admit that a lot of people shamed me to the point where I felt voiceless, like, and now the cycle just keeps repeating due to lack of knowledge or only partial knowledge, instead of having a complete picture. So when someone can make a complete choice and decision, which leads me back into manipulation, because you were trying to manipulate the image of information, right? So the way that our stuff can be seen afterwards can look favorably upon you for prideful reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just pride gotta. I'm not saying you can't have a sense of worth, but it's not the same as pride, because if you had a real sense of worth, you would not want errors like that to just be like you wouldn't want to ignore it. Like if you had certain problems, don't you go like try to fix them? Don't you, if your car breaks down, go to the shop. If your body breaks down, you go to a doctor. If your mind messed up, you go to a different kind of doctor or get certain medications. Like there's so many things you would do. You wouldn't just sit there and be like, oh, I don't see it. So it's just not practical that society would base themselves off of pride. And then it's like on a bigger scale, right? You can't tell me pride isn't what's making people go into debt. Like they want to look better and feel better than the next person. And you can't tell me that's not why people are okay with stuff like racism or classism or what's that other one? Like what is it? Is it like when people think it's within the race? So it's like, well, my eyes are lighter than your eyes. My hair is better than your hair. What the do you mean it's better? It's either healthy or it ain't. It's and if my mind, my mind, like I forget what it's called, but it's like I forget what it's called. But the point is, it's like only pride and arrogance would make you dumb enough to see people being pretty much being murdered, mistreated, just stuff that should really like that would get you locked up if you did it to your own people. That's what gets me. If it was done to your own people, it would be a crime. But if it's done to people who are different than you, are we not all people? Are we not all people? Just with kind of like we're like birds. Like you don't just pretend like this bird is not a bird just because one flies and one kind of just be chilling on land waddling. You know, like flight. The ability to fly or the ability to produce different colors does not make you differentiate and say that's not a bird. It's still a bird. Like, so I don't understand why if one sect of people have certain abilities that others don't, and one can have different colors, eye, hair, skin, than another one. Now somehow they're not human. Now somehow it's like, but you beefing with them? You want to be prideful? You want to have something to be better than this other person? Why can't the fact that you be healthy and God woke you up in your right mind be enough? But why is it what God gave you food, shelter, clothes, a family? You know what I mean? Like, why can't the comfort of God and Jesus Christ not be enough to the point where you have to look at another creation of God and be like another human being that got eyes like you do, looks like you do? You know that they breathe. We have the same organs and everything, blood the same color, like, and you get to play God and be like their life isn't good enough. Wrong color. Like you're shopping for shoes. You can't tell me that's not pride, and you can't tell me a prideful person has anything to be prideful about. I think that's a weak person. I think it's damning our society. No one's better than the next person. It's a lie. You're only special to God and your mother. And some people ain't got the mother part, and I'm very sorry for your loss. But it's just you just well not but you just can't convince me, that we don't have a prideful problem in our country. I mean, I don't know. I ain't lived everywhere and I don't know everything. And people want to brand themselves to look a certain way. But you can't tell me that racism isn't in pride, that God complex. I do think pride just leads to people going into a God complex. I think it just kind of leans you into that direction where it's like, oh, like, cause why else would you be prideful? If you weren't trying to play God or get praised like God or be looked at like better than the next person, like if you somehow, like, how can you think you're equal? Like, we're all equal. We're all human. We're all going through a journey and experiences. If you really believed in that, why do you need to be better than someone else? And how would you define better? Because usually it's some stupid shit. Usually it's like a couple dollars. If I won the lottery today, is my life better than yours? What am I doing with that money? Am I contributing to the lives of other people, which is all that really matters? Is that we all work as a community and a society, and we all enhance each other and share and work together until we create some form of utopia with better treatment ideas than just throwing people into, like, how you say, asylums and prisons, so we don't have to actually reform them and work with them and give them health, because we want to sit here and capitalize, and only if you can't make money your life somehow isn't worth it narrative that no one really wants to say, but we're all really doing it low-key. Like, trash, straight trash. So yeah, pride is messing us up. Pride and it's messing us up. I don't care. No one says it's people. One of the reasons I think people go along with, like I said, racism, why people feel like they gotta go into debt, they gotta buy all this stuff to think they're better than someone else. How do you describe better? Like, I want to, you know them by their fruit, okay? If you are not able to produce the correct fruit or the amount of fruit, that should be what makes you, if anything, because they would cancel each other out, right? Like, you wouldn't be prideful if you were focused on bettering yourself and producing good fruit, right? They would cancel each other out. But your sense of worth, though, not pridefulness, but your sense of worth would go up. You would be proud of yourself and the work that you do and how you do it and how you help others. There's a reason why most people get older and they come into a certain wealth and they start to really be like, I did all that for nothing. I still have a hole. Because you're not going to tell me people who are, I'm not even going to go down that route. But yeah, like, I'm just like, pridefulness is just, it's just ridiculous. Sitting here not being able to apologize to somebody is ridiculous. And the cherry on top is a lot of people that don't apologize still somehow expect apologies from other people. Interesting. So you know that it should be done. You know apologies should be communicated. But you're in, like, what, in a power struggle for what? We all gotta die. What is the power struggle for? What are you struggling for? Like, for real. What is the argument? Like, a lot of this stuff is just constructed in our mind like a bad mental illness. Why do you need the pride so bad? Like, why do you need to feel better than the next human so bad? What would happen with lightning strike if you was just like, I apologize and sincerely meant it, and spent enough time trying to better yourself to know if you need more assistance or help to get better, or if, like, I don't know, like, it leads to a warped reality. I don't care what nobody, it leads to a warped reality. Because habits, they're strung together, they go together, and yeah, I don't think all that pride is necessary if you really have self-worth and you can really understand your place in society, that we all just gotta work together and just embracing everyone's differences, saying, oh, that's cool, that's what's up. And I mean, we're just human. We're just human. I don't know, that God complex, that pride, that I'll do anything to not to I'm just not really here for it. And I don't think it's necessary, and we just got a huge problem. Never mind the surgeries, right? Like, cuz just not, this doesn't apply to everybody, but you can't tell me pride in, oh, I didn't get work done. We saw you yesterday. I saw you last year. I've known you your whole life. What are you talking about? You didn't get surgery. Like, like, just to feel better than this. You like, you cannot tell me a person with self-worth and take this with a grain of salt, because sometimes stuff is necessary. People get into car cracks, people are born with deformities, all kind of stuff happens. Maybe you just want a little help, whatever, because you genuinely don't like it. But you can't tell me that there's not a group of people that, for pride and arrogance, they will risk their life unnecessarily with a surgery that could get in the way of actual medically necessary surgeries down the line later, or compromise you to certain side effects and stuff, just so you can have the pride and arrogance to feel better than somebody else. Like, you're like this weird God complex, like people should just praise you and look at you. You need all this attention and you're not even doing anything really with it to help the survival of your species, to better, I don't know, push y'all in the right direction. You're not, like, there's no community effort. Like, there's just you, just you, just for the sake of you. Just like, I just can't even process that. I can't process that, and we all need a really hard wake up call, because the stuff that we'll do to ourselves, to each other, breaking down families. It's not that I don't think people will do something wrong. It shouldn't be to escape the error. It should be to learn from it.